We are here to inspire, inform, and connect a community of entrepreneurs. Welcome to Business Rockstars. I'm Pat O'Brien. Thanks for being with us. Our guest today is Dr. Are you really a doctor?
I am. Physicist.
Of course. Dr. Jerry Mearini, the president and founder of Teraphysics Corporation, which is a very detailed, we'll get into a little bit, but they're doing some stuff that's going to involve our future, right?
Right. Of communications.
Of communication.
And imaging.
And make it better.
A lot better.
A lot better. Hundreds of times better.
Yeah.
Did you always want to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, actually. When I was very young, I thought about starting a company when I was probably not even in high school. I was laying on the ground as a junior at Ohio State University in physics, had not yet decided to go to graduate school, looking up at the stars, and it just struck me that I needed to get a PhD to have credibility.
Mm-hmm.
Then I wanted to go to NASA and work for about 5 years to get ideas.
Did you want to be an astronaut or a...
I wanted to be an astronaut at a very young age. My eyes are
Who
horrible.
doesn't?
Yeah. I gave that idea up.
Right.
But I did want to go to NASA because I figured I would be exposed to cutting edge science that I might be able to commercialize.
Right.
And that's what I did.
And you did. What was your first paying job? Lying on the grass at Ohio State?
Yeah. My first paying job, you're not talking about like mowing lawns or anything like that.
Yeah.
Well, probably painting houses, mowing lawns, when
Right.
I was not yet in high school.
Okay. And the worst job you've ever had?
Being a stock boy at a grocery store.
Oh, God. How do you keep track, huh?
That
never ends, right?
Yeah. I used to, once a week, have to clean out the incinerator. That was horrible. Or cleaning the meat room.
Somebody has to do it.
Yeah.
Come on. What's wrong with you? How many hours do you work a day now?
Maybe 10.
Yeah. And what kind of a day is it? Is it always all intense, or is it?
It can be. It's funny. I used to work 16 hours a day when I first started the company, and it was all lab work. I was in the lab all day long. That was a heck of a lot easier than 8 hours a day in meetings. So half my day is still probably spent in meetings, and that can be intense. It can be boring. It can be frustrating.
I know how you feel. How do you achieve work-life balance? Especially in a job like this. We'll get into that in the next segment. High-end technology, NASA type.
I have 2 young daughters, and they need a lot of attention. So that helps. Yeah. And one of them is 14, one of them is 11, so they're at that age where they need a lot of attention. And so that helps
I'm laughing
me to...
because I know.
Yeah. So that helps me to focus on, I have to remain focused on the sort of private life.
Right. You have any weird hobbies?
I'm a guitarist. Right. I don't know if that's weird.
It's not weird, because so am I.
Yeah, okay.
What kind of music do you play?
Kind of hard rock.
Are you any good?
Well, I've been playing 39 years. I'm proficient, let's put it that way. I don't do it as my main line of work, so I could be a lot better. I used to be a lot better.
Right. What kind of amp do you use?
Mesa Boogie Mark II-B. I bought it in 1980, brand new.
Don't ever get rid of it.
I won't.
Don't ever get rid of that one. In fact, you can't even find those anymore.
Yeah, I know.
I know. That's enough guitar talk. Do you have any, if I worked for you, what would be an adjective I'd come up with?
To describe
you?
Interesting.
I thought you could say intense.
Sometimes intense, passionate about
what I do. Just by the very nature of your work, you have to be a little bit, not only a genius type, but a little bit intense, right?
Yeah, I think you have to love what you do, and I love what I do. That's one reason why I wanted to be an entrepreneur, is that I didn't want it to be work. I wanted to be able to work all day long and never feel like I was really working.
Right, and to have purpose at the same time.
Yeah, it had to be cool. If I wasn't doing something that I was proud of doing, I wouldn't want to do that. So I originally picked something that was probably definitely more challenging than I ever expected it to be from an entrepreneurial perspective. Trying to start a business that competes with, say, Lockheed Martin on occasion for funding, that's a hard thing to do, and we've had a lot of...
That could be problematic.
Yeah, we've had problems with that.
We are here to inspire, inform, and connect a community of entrepreneurs. I'm Pat O'Brien. This is Business Rockstars. Dr. Jerry Mearini is with us, who is the founder of Teraphysics Corporation. It's fascinating. We'll get into that in the next segment. Would you hire a friend or a family member?
Well, I did.
If they were smart enough?
Well, I did. I do have friends working with me. And yes, no problem at all. I want to have fun while I'm working, and I have to like the people I'm working with.
Right.
I did have some family members working with me years ago. There were some issues with that, and I don't recommend it.
And by the way, everybody says that. I mean, that's kind of the...
Yeah. I had to fire my own mother, though.
Wow, you are going to hell.
It was because we were no longer treating each other like we were mother and son, although she was trying to, and it was getting ugly at work, and it wasn't fair to her, really.
Sounds like a good name of a rock star, a rock song. I fired my own mother. What's your strength as a CEO?
I think I persevere. I don't give up. I've been doing the same thing with the same objective since I started this company in 1994. The objective was to build next generation wireless communication equipment. And it wasn't until 2014 that we had our first working prototype. So
why wireless?
it just seems to make sense. Why do people want to be tethered?
Then.
Well, it did. I mean, at NASA, we were talking about satellites and communication satellites, and the world was expanding rapidly from an electronics perspective. And it made sense to not want to be tethered if you could have the same quality of information transfer and not be tethered. That seems to make a lot of sense.
That's the whole idea, right? Where do you develop new ideas?
I think there's so much input now with the world expanding like it is with respect to communications that I think the ideas are, I guess it's hard to stay ahead of all the new ideas, but there are so many ideas that generate ideas. It seems like it's easier.
Why not just get a normal job? I mean, we always ask a lot of CEOs, what are you doing? Or, why not get? This is far from normal.
Yeah, true enough. I've never had a real job. I like to say that. It's really kind of true. I went from graduate school to NASA, and my job at NASA was simply to do cutting edge research and publish the results. And so I had a very kind of comfortable lifestyle in that I could come to work whenever I wanted to, leave whenever I wanted to. I would get there at 6 a.m. actually to beat the traffic. And for 4 years, we basically did research without a lot of oversight. It was the oversight would come when we were ready to publish. My boss would get involved, and we would discuss the results, and he would give me some advice. So that wasn't a real job, really.
No.
And then I started my company while.
Seems like one, but go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it was like fun.
Right.
So that's why I didn't consider it a real job. Yeah. And then I started the company in '94 while still working at NASA, and went straight from NASA to this company. So I never had a real boss, I guess. My boss was sort of more of a partner and a mentor.
Right. Speaking of mentors, who's your favorite entrepreneur?
I have mentors. Actually, both my business partners. I have two business partners, and I couldn't do this without them. They're both about 25 years older than me, and they're both substantial mentors to me. One in the area of business, the other in the area of science. The science mentor was my boss at NASA, and he had a 31-and-a-half-year career there. He was responsible for all the communication satellite transmitter development for NASA for the last 20 years of his career there. And my other mentor, my business partner, he's just taught me a lot about how to remain cool under pressure. I've never met anybody cooler under pressure than him. He was an airborne ranger when he was 18. Well, yes, I did. But
go ahead.
Yeah. So he was an airborne ranger when he was younger, and I've just enjoyed working with him because I've watched. We've been through some trying times, and he just never gets flustered. So they've been excellent mentors.
Yeah. Who's your favorite superhero?
Batman, but the old Batman, Adam West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he had the money and the cars, and
he was like a physicist who fought crime. Yeah, he was like the coolest physicist.
Can you say I'm Batman?
No, I don't deserve it.
I tried to get Robert De Niro to say that once. He said, "What's wrong with you?" Because he was rumored to be Batman. What are you most proud of? I mean, the end product is going to be the pride and joy, but what are you most proud of?
You mean on a business perspective? I think I'm proud of the work we've done in the area of diamond research and development and commercializing technology that utilizes diamond.
Right. Now, you also make these guitar picks, which
True.
you and I share that passion.
Right.
Tell me what that guitar pick is made of and why it's better.
It's a stainless steel guitar pick, and it's coated with a coating called diamond-like carbon. We have a manufacturing facility that manufactures infrared optics for mostly, well, night vision applications. We do some really cool windows that go onto military aircraft that'll go twice the speed of sound. They're sitting on the outside of the aircraft and they do not scratch in a sandstorm at twice the speed of sound. The reason for that is diamond-like carbon. It's got a very low coefficient of friction, 10 times lower than Teflon, and it does not scratch. So I'm putting diamond-like carbon onto stainless steel guitar picks, and it lowers the coefficient of friction to 100 times lower than a nylon pick against a steel string. So it glides on the string. It enables you to
Are the phonics come out different?
Yeah, it's brighter. It definitely is brighter. If you're using an amplifier, you can't really tell the difference. On an acoustic guitar, you can.
We are here to inspire, inform, and connect a community of entrepreneurs. This is Business Rockstars. I'm Pat O'Brien, back in a minute.